Welcome, my nonsensical sasans! I am Magnus Beasticus, and in this video I'll be ranting about Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Wait, so is this officially the third game? No, that can't be because they already released footage of the third game. But kind of? But nah, not really. A little bit? So then why did Square Enix go through all the trouble to name this with 3 words that start with D? Well, because it takes place after Kingdom Hearts 2, but is not really a true sequel, and yeah, it's for the 3DS. If you're a diehard Kingdom Hearts fan, you're going to play this game regardless of what I have to say about it. I know my friend told me not to play it, and I didn't listen to him. All that you need to know is that it is more Kingdom Hearts, and it takes place after Kingdom Hearts 2. Dream Drop Distance will also be very fun for kids, but they're not going to know what's going on. And if they tell you that they do, put them in timeout because they're liars. If you're not a fan or a child, I do not recommend Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Or I do not recommend starting out with Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. In the beginning, you are back at Yensid's castle, because apparently permanently separating the worlds means absolutely nothing. And he says that Sora and Riku are not true Keyblade Masters, because apparently saving the universe twice means absolutely nothing. Again, I would have thought that saving everything would have proven to be a great application of Keyblade Master abilities. But hey, what the F do I know? Yensid splits up Sora and Riku, strips them of all their abilities, and makes them younger again. Only in a separate universe, where they have to then seal 7 different sleeping keyholes in 7 different worlds. Which, come on Disney, that sounds dirty. These worlds are plagued by monsters called Dream Eaters. In Kingdom Hearts 1 we had the Heartless. In Kingdom Hearts 2 we were introduced to Nobodies, and in Birth by Sleep we had the Unversed. Now in this game we have Dream Eaters. Dreams are the theme this time around, and you have to wake up the worlds. I swear, no world is safe from any metaphor. There is a new physical embodiment of a metaphorical threat every single time around.
Sora was so hungry he could have eaten a horse, and now horses are killing everyone. And the people the horses are killing are turning into doornails because they were dead as doornails.
Anyway, right off the bat, Xehanort takes this opportunity to F with Sora and Riku to fulfill another one of his master plots. That actually wasn't in his voice.
Another one of his master plots.
That really wasn't in his voice either. But this time, dun dun dun, he's serious.
Or he's serious.
As soon as you are able to move, you are bombarded with tutorials and new mechanics. Way too much, way too soon. Now you can navigate using pretty much anything in the environment with a new flow motion mechanic. Jump on a rail and you'll be consumed by pink to move very quickly. Dodge roll into a wall, pole, or large enemy, and you can either jump really high, soar really far, or execute a special attack where you're invulnerable at the same time. The problem is, the 3DS controls are so clunky that it's going to take you probably 5 tries to dodge roll into what you want. Walls are pretty easy, but just give poles or enemies a try. Dream Drop Distance does take advantage of the Circle Pad Pro, which may help, but I honestly do not know what that is or how it helps. Also, there's no bar that depletes when you use this invincible move. Nothing that you need to monitor. You can use it an infinite number of times, so I guess that it's up to you whether or not you want to whore it. The flow motion is overwhelming at first, but you will get the hang of it, and when you do, no level will be able to hide its secrets from you. Immediately after learning about the flow motion, another new mechanic is thrown into your face. Reality shifting! Reality shifting takes advantage of the 3DS's touchscreen to unleash a minigame special attack. Each world uses the reality shift in a unique way, with their own kind of minigame. You can use the reality shift after sufficiently beating down an enemy, or there will be specific environmental objects that allow you to use reality shift at any time. This could easily have not existed, and I not only would not have cared, but I probably would have liked the game a little bit more too. They're pretty much saying,
"Look, it's called reality shift! Anything is possible, kiddos! Why? For no f***ing reason!"
Well, obviously no reason that I cared about. Immediately after learning about reality shift, you are introduced to the new Dream Eater companions. Yup, you obtain and train monsters in Kingdom Hearts now, too! Why are the Japanese so infatuated with capturing and training monsters to fight for them? Final Fantasy started doing it with 13-2. The Tales series started doing it with Dawn of a New World. What a crap game that was. Ni no Kuni did it. Even Pokemon started having you capture monsters. I would have been more accepting of a giant robot companion. Now that would have been cool. The worst part about this is that you have to pet your Dream Eaters and play cutesy-tootsie games with them in order to help build your relationship with them to help them level. This is certainly not for adults, yet adults comprise the most hardcore Kingdom Hearts fanbase. Can Square Enix actually picture grown-ass men petting these Dream Eater faces and giggling about how cute they are? Hey bro, which Dream Eater do you think is the fluffy wuffiest cutesy tootsiest? This gameplay aspect is screaming to adults,
This is not for your kind!
and that's when I scream,
My kind grew up with Kingdom Hearts, and you would forsake us?
yeah, so I did not actually ever pet those poor dream-eating bastards, which I did not really have to pay too much attention to in order to beat the game anyway. So that's good. The core combat of Dream Drop Distance is similar to Birth by Sleep, where you have your standard attack, and you can customize your magic and abilities that have cooldowns. Fighting the Dream Eater peons was always fun, but almost every single boss battle just seemed clumsy. I always loved the boss battles in previous Kingdom Hearts, but these were just not fun to me. There are not enough ways to block, and the movement was just too clunky to be counted on to dodge everything you wanted. The boss battles were not too difficult, they just didn't flow very well in my opinion. The combat overall is fun, as always, and I know that if the story continues to let me down and discourage me, I can always come back to the fighting system to have a good time. You cannot tell me that when you hear that a game's fighting system is going to be similar to Kingdom Hearts, you do not instantly get excited. 2 words. Final Fantasy 15. I did notice that the level design is more intricate and expansive in Dream Drop Distance. Most levels are fun to navigate, and somehow manage to be larger on average than previous Kingdom Hearts levels. On the topic of worlds, why is the grid its own world, and not a world inside of worlds like it was in Kingdom Hearts 2? The grid should have been a program that was in Radiant Gardens. It was not its own world, and there was a world outside of the grid that the characters were talking about that should have been Radiant Gardens. Does that mean that Sam and Flynn are from Radiant Gardens? And Flynn is said to have made the grid. But I thought that Ansem the Wise was responsible for making the world that Tron lived in. I don't get it, but it may have an explanation somewhere. I don't think so, but let me know. Kingdom Hearts originally came out in 2002. That was 12 years ago. None of the original fan base are kids anymore. That is probably a fact. Maybe. It sounds accurate. So for the past 12 years, they've been developing Kingdom Hearts for the same age group, following the same story. Square Enix has gone insane, or they're stuck in a time warp, where 12 of our years equals only 2 of theirs. We have to save them. That has to be it. There is no other explanation. None. As to why Square Enix would continuously develop childish and convoluted games that all have to be played in order to fully understand the full scope of the story. If it is even possible to follow the story to begin with. After I played Dream Drop Distance, I had to do a lot of research in order to just barely make sense of things. I had to look up a Xehanort flowchart, which was super helpful by the way. I will link it in the description. Also, I don't like how Kingdom Hearts tries to come off as really, really deep, when really it's just a whole bunch of babble about nonsense that nobody really understands, so they're just like, they're gonna think it's deep. Put in darkness, and dreams, and nobody, and birthing by sleep. The biggest reason why Square Enix can go f itself is because of this multi-platform bullshit. You are really going to force your fans to buy a PS2, a DS, a 3DS, and a PSP in order to enjoy the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series? So now you have degraded your game into something that can only be fully enjoyed by spoiled rich little kid douchebags. Sorry to any spoiled rich little kid douchebags who are watching. Rich people in general, and very hard workers who have to claw and teeth their way into a lot of money just to purchase that shiny new 3DS, and PSP, and DS, and PS2. Well, what about the people who don't want to work that much, huh? They now have to wait for somebody to leave their 3DS on a bench, and just hope that Dream Drop Distance happens to be inside. You're not even thinking about those sweet, kind-hearted people, Square Enix, and for that, you can go f*** yourself. Haha! Spoiler section! Haha! Every new Kingdom Hearts seems to try and explain something from a previous Kingdom Hearts with something else that needs to be explained. It's like trying to explain a metaphor with 2 more metaphors, and then explain those 2 more metaphors with 4 more metaphors. Kingdom Hearts 1 was a perfect game. It did not have to be explained. It was its own thing. And then Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories came around and introduced the nobodies, and then everything went to shit. Apparently nobodies can grow hearts now. So if nobodies can have hearts now, does that mean that they can become heartless and then have another nobody? And then that nobody gets a heart, and then just freaking an infinite cycle and just overpopulation? Also, did you know that so long as someone exists within Sora's heart, they can be brought back to life? Yeah, all you have to do is high-five Sora and you gain immortality. That little piece of information has made me not give a hoot about anyone's fate in Kingdom Hearts. I guess that if Sora actually died, which would never happen, that may spice things up a little bit, which would never happen. Xehanort just descends upon Sora from behind like Sephiroth and just stabs him over and over again, and then decapitates him and mails his head to Kairi with a note saying, "I came back for you!" Whoa. That got pretty dark. Speaking of which, something that I did like about Dream Drop Distance is that the focus happened to be more focused on Riku towards the end. Out of Sora and Riku, only Riku gets the title of Keyblade Master. Probably because Sora only had 1 final boss, and Riku had 5. And Riku was going throughout each level trying to learn something and reflect on his actions, whereas Sora was just going with the flow, not really treating it like a trial. So whether or not they're trying to shift focus onto Riku being the main character, or they're just giving him some limelight before Sora becomes even more of the main character, I don't know. I hope that it is the former, but I'm actually positive that it's the latter. I hate that I am like Sora in the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, and the Kingdom Hearts series is like Kairi.
I'm always with you too. I'll come back to you. I promise. I know you will.
Thank you for watching this Sora smashing, this heartless hurting, this Kingdom Hearts commemoranting. Oh, that did not make sense to you? It's not that it didn't make any sense. It's just that I was being really deep. Like this video if you have a heart. Be sure to leave a comment letting me know what you thought of this rant view, or what you think of the Kingdom Hearts series overall. Do you think that there will be a Marvel or Star Wars world in the new Kingdom Hearts? Man, I hope so. If that were the case though, I think that those worlds would overshadow every other world. Oh, hey, sorry Simba, I couldn't save your world again because I was too busy using the Force. And subscribe to see my new videos in the future. Also, you may or may not know this, but I do have a fitness program for gamers. What I call the Video Game Fitness Program, or the VGFP. Check it out if you want to get stronger and play longer. Always awaken your sleeping keyholes, and never stop playing video games. I'll come back for you. I know you will.